Since the dawn of time, man has always longed to explore his or her own destiny. Like the rippling seas of the uncharted waters of yesteryear, so we too ride the waves of change. We humbly dedicate this film to all those ancient mariners who sought their own destiny, our past, and tomorrow's future. Long live the voyages into uncharted waters.
The 15-star flag brings us back to a time when America was a young nation, still fighting for her independence. It is the same flag that flew over Fort McHenry, inspiring Francis Scott Key to write our national anthem. In the early 1800s, Baltimore was the world's premier shipbuilding center. The famous Baltimore Clippers were built to outrun and outmaneuver British warships, which gave America the advantage during the War of 1812. Thomas Boyle, captain of the Chasseur, was America's most brazen privateer. In early 1814, he single-handedly blockaded the British fleet and seized 45 of their vessels. Baltimore gave his clipper ship a new name, Pride of Baltimore. On September the 13th, the British attempted to destroy Baltimore shipyards, but Americans sank 22 of their ships in the channel. They then attacked Fort McHenry, but when the smoke cleared, our flag was still there. In 1975, having rebuilt its inner harbor, the city of Baltimore began rebuilding history. The Pride of Baltimore, commissioned in 1977, was modeled after the early Baltimore Clippers. A sleek vessel, she logged more than 150,000 sea miles in 9 years. In March 1986, the Pride of Baltimore had just ended a successful Mediterranean tour. Her Baltimore homecoming was scheduled for May 22nd. Early on May 14th, the weather closed in. The hatches were down and the crew had clipped in when a sudden blast struck the ship. The Pride was knocked down. She immediately took on water and the order was given to abandon ship. The captain and 3 crew members were lost. An investigation found no fault with the Pride's design or construction. The citizens of Maryland wasted no time in building a replacement. The Pride of Baltimore II was commissioned October the 23rd, 1988. Pride II has continued her predecessor's mission, touring the Caribbean, the Great Lakes, and Europe. Her campaigns are designed to promote goodwill among nations and to foster economic development. Pride II also shares with the world America's rich maritime heritage. One of the greatest replica ships ever built, she brings with her to each port of call the spirit of Baltimore, Maryland, and the Chesapeake Bay region. Since 1988, Pride II has visited more than 200 foreign and domestic ports. But beyond the joy and excitement she invokes at her arrival, her presence has a greater purpose. Though her campaigns are privately funded, the high visibility that the Pride II commands in the media is a great return for investors. Coverage of her most recent tour afforded more than $6 million worth of promotion for Maryland trade and tourism. And with each new journey, she demonstrates Maryland's pioneering spirit and determination. In the fall of 1993, the Pride of Baltimore II embarked upon an exciting voyage which included the last 2 American frontiers. After visiting North and Central American ports on the Atlantic and the Gulf of Mexico, she sought passage to the Pacific through the Panama Canal. She visited Hawaii for the first time the following summer before sailing for her most northern destination, Alaska. For many Americans, Alaska is still an enigma, untamed and unspoiled, yet rich in natural resources. As she navigated the glacial bays and inlets, Pride II's crew was charmed by the Alaskan sights and sounds. In Stevens Passage, scores of doll porpoises greeted the ship and stayed to skate and frolic in the bow wake. Everyone stopped to enjoy the antics of the humpback whales. Humpbacks and orcas can be found every year, migrating past Point Adolphus in the icy strait near the mouth of Glacier Bay. While the crew enjoys these diversions, there is always a lot of work to do. Keeping Pride 2 shipshape requires a great deal of physical effort and maintenance. The reward for the crew's readiness is in the excitement felt by all when Pride 2 comes to port. Wind permitting, she'll greet the crowds in full regalia with as many as 13 sails unfurled. Her approach is announced with cannon fire before the foresail is taken in. The Pride of Baltimore, too, has seen many lovely and remote sights across the globe, but none quite like this majestic Alaska. Exploring the icy inlets, she seems oddly at home in the calm and quiet surroundings. The crew will soon sail for Baltimore, where Pride 2 will winter and prepare for her next campaign. There they will tell of the successes and challenges she experienced during her goodwill mission and of the many friends she has made for America and Maryland along the way.